What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, and never a dull day at Tottenham Hotspur. We've got a Tottenham update to bring to you guys today.
Big
and
club announcement today.
A massive club announcement. Massive club announcement. Did you say I do?
I do. I do. Till death do us part.
Exactly.
And this club will definitely be the death of me. I assure you that.
Definitely. Only Tottenham Hotspur can win a European trophy and then a week later be in complete meltdown. It's absolutely madness what is going on.
Exactly. It's not about if we say I do, Zanj say I do. That's the big question on everyone's lips.
Well, Ange doesn't need to. I think Ange said I do 10 days ago. Do they say I do to Ange? Exactly. That's what it comes down to.
God, there needs to be some vows taken up here. Come on. Start saying your vows, Tottenham.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, we're not doing anything. I think everyone's getting cold feet at the altar, I think, at the moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think when you're at the altar and they say, what do they say? Does anyone here have any problems with this marriage? Any objections to this marriage? I think a lot of people are standing up and giving their objections right now.
And we're still waiting to see if they're going to go ahead with the marriage.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, let's we're going to start off with the update. We do have, we just want to come to terms with what the hell is going on at Tottenham Hotspur right now, but we'll get into that a bit later on in the stream. But can everyone just appreciate the lovely update from Lineup Builder on the side of the screen there with the nice little transfer touches? So I'm sure you can all appreciate that out there.
Yeah, and we'll be bringing a lot more of these transfer graphics throughout the summer. A summer full of uncertainty and full of speculation, and we're going to be the first to bring all the news here at WeAreTottenham TV. And with these lovely graphics here now.
And big up to Ugio, who's #1 in the community leaderboard right now. 75 XP. He's, top 7 all do have 75 XP. So you got to interact to make your way to the top people of the community leaderboard. But at the moment, it is Ugio at the current top of the leaderboard. But we've got...
And also people commenting on your cameo on ABC News.
Well, they didn't even let me do my makeup.
I have to say, it's a documentary about Ange's career and his journey, and I'm not the one. I've stuck by him this whole time, never wavered, apart from a little bit. Never wavered.
Exactly. All this narrative about Sim never wavering and never changing his mind.
I'm allowed a week.
You're not allowed a week. You're not allowed a week.
I never wavered.
You're not allowed a week.
You're the one they picked to be on the Ange, the whole Ange documentary.
What can I say?
Eulogizing Ange Postecoglou, and I don't get the call up.
That's what I was going to say. While you were busy getting drunk in Bilbao, I was the one doing the content and doing the videos. So I guess it had to be me.
I'm not happy about that, guys. ABC, we've got a bone to pick with ABC. We're coming for all the copyright strikes. We're coming for you. We're coming for you. Should have picked me.
All right. Ugio still top of the leaderboard, but like I said, keep interacting, guys, and you will we'll shout you out as the stream goes on. But let's start off with a Tottenham update, and we're going to start off talking about that kit launch. You saw us making all those wedding jokes before, and it'll become evident why. I'm sure you all know about it already. But yeah, Spurs said there was going to be a club announcement today, and there definitely was. Maybe some people were suspecting it to be an announcement on the manager. Maybe you thought that we're going to, see what's going on with the future of this football club going into next season, and we definitely do, because we know what our new kit's going to be, even though we kind of known that for a pretty long time. But let's get into the social media and see how they announced it. I thought it was a very peculiar announcement, to be honest. Really peculiar. So they started off saying take a vow.
We heard that yesterday, take a vow.
Yeah. Yeah, if you bring it on. Mute it. Yeah, so it started off saying introducing our 25-26
Still echoing. A lot of Ange in, Ange out comments today.
Yeah, as naturally it would be. Yeah, we're all good. All right. So let's go and see how they did announce on social media. And here it goes, introducing new 25-26 home kit available now exclusively at Tottenham, which is kind of a lie because I did see online a few days ago that JD Sports had already been selling it. So it's not really exclusive at Tottenham. But this is the new kit. I just don't get this whole why they're like kind of announcing it like it's a marriage, this new kit.
Because they want to get all the loyal supporters to buy in again.
So,
with all the uncertainty,
it's so
we
cringy.
don't know where it's going to lead, and they want to make sure that we're committed to this club. So we have to take a vow.
It's
We have
really
to sign the contract.
Haven't
no
we taken
prenups?
Didn't we take a vow many years ago? Like, why is it now we need
No
to take a
prenups.
vow?
We're not taking half of what they own if it goes wrong. All right, they're going to take half of what we own.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Even if it goes wrong,
And then some.
And then some. They're taking all of what we own. But yeah, we took the vow a long time ago. The vow of Tottenham.
Yeah. If you scroll up, you'll see there's Lucas Bergvall as front and center of the shoot. If you scroll across, if you go onto that tweet there with Lucas Bergvall, and if you hover over it, you'll see a button that you can scroll across.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's Mickey Van. How good does Mickey look in that
Mickey
kit?
always makes kits look good. I have to say, it does look like a training kit.
Yeah,
it does. I'm not a big one about complaining or being happy about kits and all this kind of stuff. New kits don't really move me that much, but that looks like a training kit to me. If they announced a new training kit and that was it, you wouldn't be shocked. You'd be like, yeah. That's a training kit. And that's what it looks like.
To be honest with you, I like when they announce new kits, and I love the history of kits and all that kind of stuff. But I find it hard to even dislike, or even care so much about this kit when there's so much uncertainty around the club. It's like they make this whole big announcement about this kit. We don't even know who our manager's going to be next season. It's just a bit ridiculous, to be honest.
God forbid we let future decisions about the footballing side of this football club get in the way of a good kit announcement.
Exactly.
That's the most important thing right now, is getting that kit out there, getting some more money, getting people hyped for the new kit, rather than knowing who the hell our manager's going to be, rather than seeing and watching other clubs make signings. We'll get into that later, but it's very frustrating at the moment being a Tottenham fan, because we should be absolutely buzzing, looking forward to the new season. But how can we when there's all this uncertainty and there's radio silence from the hierarchy? And yes, we've got a new kit. Whoop de bloody do. How about decide what you're going to do with the manager?
Exactly.
How about sort that out?
100%. Couldn't agree more. And I was one that kept saying, stop moaning, everyone, and we've just won a European competition. But they really are sucking the life out of this celebration, aren't they?
Well, look, we're 2 weeks gone. I know it's still not that far gone from the final, but we're 10 days after the season. Like, great, announce the kit, but how about we deal with serious business here?
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
Right, whatever, announce the kit, but all this hype and everything, and how can we get hype for a new season when half these players are probably going to be pissed off at the moment as well? It's just a very frustrating situation.
Yeah. You scroll up, a special delivery to Mickey. So they go through Tottenham with the new kit box, blah, 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 go through the room. And there's Mickey there to receive his brand new kit. He looks absolutely delighted about it.
Yeah.
I tell you the truth, though, when I first saw the pictures of this kit, like over the last couple of weeks or couple of months, I much prefer it here, like seeing it on the players, than I did, a few weeks ago when I just saw the mock-ups.
Well, Bergvall's basically a model, so
yeah,
you can make anything look good.
I guess they're all, yeah. And then if you scroll up, there's Sonny donning the new kit. Everyone was waiting. Where's Sonny? Why is he not in the announcement?
I was wondering why he wasn't front and centre. Him with the Europa League trophy in that kit. Come on.
But there he is.
Big up, Sonny. See, I don't know. It just looks a bit meh to me. When I look at it there, I know Sonny makes many kits look good, but I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, doesn't look that nice.
And then you got the unboxing of the shirt as well, which is such interesting stuff. How I was praying to see an unboxing of a shirt when I woke up this morning.
You can have it all for the price of £125.
No, but you could get the cheaper version for £85.
Yeah,
don't forget about that.
No, cool. Yeah, that's cheaper version apparently. That's the cheaper version.
Made out of paper apparently.
Great material. I don't know what material it is.
Yeah. And then if you scroll up, there's some more pictures of Mickey in the kit. Is it any surprise that no sign of Romero in this kit launch?
Don't think so. No sign of Ange.
No sign of Ange
Everyone was
either.
hoping he was gonna end. They were gonna end the video of Ange having season 3 is better than season 2 on the back of his shirt. Well, didn't quite happen.
Yeah, but look, that's it for the kit launch. That is our new home shirt going into the next season. The main thing I don't like about it is the crest and the Nike tick in the middle. It's just like pointless, to be honest.
Crest in the middle, that an homage to the 80s? We used to have a crest in the middle, didn't we?
Yeah, and I just don't like them. I just much prefer the crest should be where the heart is. That's where it should be on a football shirt.
If I'm getting the new kit, I want to get the Europa League winners badge on.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I want.
Europa League winners badge on one side and Champions League Champions League badge on the other side.
Exactly.
But we did get a confirmed announcement yesterday from the club as well regarding Ryan Mason. They say our assistant coach has left the club and taken up a head coach role at West Bromwich Albion. Thank you for everything, Ryan. Sammy Mockbell also says that Tottenham Academy coach Stuart Lewis could join Ryan Mason as his part of the coaching staff at West Brom. And yeah, it's quite a moment for Ryan Mason. You know, the guy has all he's known is Tottenham his whole career, from a young boy coming through the academy, playing for Tottenham. You know, the injury that unfortunately ended his career, and then come back to Tottenham in a coaching role and been there ever since, obviously. Stand-in manager at a time, took us through a cup final. He's been there his whole career, his whole life has been Tottenham Hotspur. So it'd be good for him to get out of that environment and start to make a name for himself in the managerial world.
Yeah, and obviously winning that Europa League, being part of the coaching staff that did it, would be is a good time to leave, and it's a good time to basically say, all right, I've done this, and now it's time to chart my own course as a manager. And there's been a lot of rumours over the last couple of years about him doing that, but West Brom's a good job, and it's a different direction West Brom are going in, because West Brom usually go for tried and tested kind of managers, experienced managers. So it's a bit of a risk on their part to go for a manager who's not got that much experience, apart from a few Premier League games as an interim. He doesn't have that much experience managing, like as part of knowing he's going to be the full-time manager. He's never done that before. So doing that at a club like West Brom, we've got expectations next season of probably being in the playoffs or pushing for promotion, I'm sure. He's going to be under scrutiny, I think, straight away, probably at that club. So it's a big decision for West Brom to choose him, and it's a big decision for Mason to choose that kind of job. But I'm very intrigued to see how he goes, and good luck to him. And he's going to have the experience of being a coach under a lot of very good managers at Tottenham Hotspur, albeit some of them didn't do too well, but he would have taken a lot of things from all these kind of different managers. And I'm very excited to see how he gets on, and it'll be interesting if he does really well and gets promotion or something. It'll be interesting to see if maybe Premier League clubs start calling for him, or even maybe down the line, could the Tottenham job be there for him if he does, if he charts his course? And
100%.
You get the feeling like if Tottenham ever do come calling, it'll be hard for him to ever say no.
Yeah.
So very good luck to him. We'll keep an eye on West Brom. Hopefully we send some players his way and he'll know how to use them. And yeah, I'm really, really intrigued to see how he gets on.
Yeah, 100%. So good luck to Ryan Mason. We wish you all the best in your future endeavours and definitely your role at West Brom. And we'll be taking a keen and close eye on you this season. And hopefully you do well at the club. And if he does do well, like you say, there's definitely a pathway back to Tottenham Hotspur for sure. The club will be very much looking closely at Ryan Mason and how he develops as a manager. And how many managers could West Brom get the chance of getting this summer, saying that they've gone toe-to-toe with Pep Guardiola at Wembley and gone all the way? You know, it was a last 10-minute goal, wasn't it, from Man City to win that cup final. So
yeah, fair play. And he's got a lot of experience under a lot of good coaches, so hopefully he can really absorb all of that. And we've seen right now, I know it's different level, but you know, we've seen other managers who have similar kind of experience under a lot of good coaches like Alonso and Fabregas, and they really just take all these ideas and have become very good managers. So let's see if Mason can do something similar.
Yeah, I would have thought like Mason's probably biggest influence would have been Pochettino, but then you've got all the other managers like kind of sprinkled in there as well. So definitely a good footballing education Ryan Mason has had. But let's move on and let's talk about potential transfers. The Mail are reporting that Everton are telling suitors that Jared Branthwaite is not for sale this summer. However, Tottenham are expected to test the waters, but right now their priority is deciding the future of manager Ange Postecoglou. I mean, how long does it take to decide the future of our manager? First of all, Ange Postecoglou, and second of all, it's going to take a humongous bid to get Jared Branthwaite out of Everton.
Yeah, I highly doubt we're going to spend the money required to get him. As well, let's say Man United or Chelsea come in for him, he kind of slots straight into that team, doesn't he? For us, you got Van der Ven in the way. So I'm not saying he wouldn't get significant game time, especially with Champions League football, but at Man United or Chelsea is like going to be their starting centre back for 100%. Like he comes in as probably their best centre back, or arguably, or one of the better ones. And for us, it's like you have to compete with Van der Ven, and it's going to be a battle for you to get minutes. And also for us, are we really going to drop 70, 80, 70 million so on a defender who's not sure if he's going to be back up or whatever? I just can't see us doing it. Obviously, I'd love us to do it, and I think it would be a statement of intent to get someone like Branthwaite and show, okay, we're serious about building a squad which is full of quality, and that when you take a defender out, there's not this big drop in quality like there has been in the past couple of years. But just knowing this club, I just highly doubt we're going to do that.
Yeah, it's true. And, it's hard to even talk about transfers right now when we just don't know what the hell is going on at this football club. It's just like silent days on end. The only thing that we hear from them is a kit announcement launch when everyone's just desperate to know who the manager's going to be next season. I think it's just driving everyone up the wall at the moment. And like we said before, it's just like evaporating all the good feeling that has been in the fan base after the Europa League final win.
Yeah. Transfer talk is it's fun to talk about, but at the moment it's like, what is the use when we don't know? You can't really make transfer decisions while we don't know who the manager's going to be. And no player, even if it's a club signing, what player is going to sit down and say, yeah, I'm going to commit to you when he might have other offers on the table? We can't even tell him who the manager's going to be right now.
Yeah.
So even from that front, it's just very frustrating.
Yeah. Let's talk about Matisse Tell now. There's been a couple of updates on Tell, and Florian Plettenberg says that Tottenham still want to keep Matisse Tell, and a new idea currently being discussed is another loan deal with a loan fee and a subsequent obligation to buy. Bayern still prefer a permanent sale. However, negotiations are ongoing and everything is still open. Max Eberl has been in intense talks with both Tottenham and Tell for weeks to find the best possible solution. And Christian Falk says that Tottenham and Bayern are locked in intense talks regarding the transfer of Matisse Tell. Bayern Munich's asking price is 30 to 33 million pounds and are not keen on sanctioning another loan with an obligation to buy. Do you see Spurs just slapping down 30, 35 million on the table, or do you think they're just going to keep pushing for that obligation to buy with a few clauses put in there?
It seems to me that all parties want this to be done. So when that usually happens, the deal does get done. So for me, I think however it looks, I think Tottenham are usually quite good at coming up with creative solutions to these kind of deals. And I think Bayern are happy to sell. We clearly want to keep him. We're convinced that he's good enough for us and he's set to be good going forward. Obviously, whether Andrew's future has a say in Tell's future, we have to obviously remains to be seen, because Andrew's the one who brought him, and he was obviously the one saying he's convinced, once he comes to Tottenham, everyone's going to see he's going to be a Tottenham player, this kind of stuff. And he's obviously been part of this Europa League winning squad, and the squad are very close, and the squad are very close behind the manager. So whether these two things are connected, if we change manager, is Tell going to be like, I don't know if I want to stay here or not. I don't know if there's anything to that, but it seems at the moment all arrows point in the direction that he wants to join. We want to sign him. Bayern are happy to let him go. And it's all about ironing out the figures and the numbers and see if they work for everyone. And it seems as though I don't think a 30 million. If it's 30 million. I don't think that's going to be the stumbling block. It's going to be how it's paid and all this kind of stuff, or trying to get that down as much as possible. But I think that'll be a figure that Tottenham will be fine with, I think.
Yeah, I do kind of agree, but I'm just looking at the makeup of the squad for next season and the wing options. Let's say we sign, for argument's sake, let's say we do sign a Tell and a Sane. is that good enough to go into next season with? You're looking at Tell and Sonny on the left with Odebear that can play both sides. Got Brennan and Sane on the right. Well, I guess Sane can play both sides as well. But is that good enough for you?
I mean, on the face of it, the evidence that we've seen, no. But, what you've got to be hopeful for is that Tell Odebear has a lot more game time and starts showing a different level. Obviously, if Brennan can continue his goal scoring, can continue to get as many goals as he's been getting, Sane adds a bit more quality on that side. You have Tell, hopefully, after 6 months settling in, hopefully he shows a better level next season as well. I mean, good enough for what? I guess is the question.
Good enough for competing on all fronts. Bringing another trophy home, finishing in the top 4, top 5 in the Premier League.
Is it good enough to be competing and trying to win a Champions League? No. Is it good enough to win a Premier League? No. Is it good enough to say we're favourites for that top 4 position? No. Is it good enough to put yourself in the conversation for top 6? I don't see why not.
I guess so, but I mean, you're looking at the business that other clubs are doing. Chelsea are only going to get stronger. Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City out of the question. You're looking at Newcastle. They're going to get stronger this season. Probably going to buy more established players. And then you're looking at Manchester United, who the team that we were competing with this season, beat them in the cup final. They've brought in Cunha. They've now brought in Mbeumo. It's been said by David Ornstein that Spurs were interested in Mbeumo, and he decided to join Manchester United, a team not in Europe, and we're the ones with Champions League football. It just seems like we should be going for these kind of targets, and Manchester United are getting the better of us in this transfer market by far, in my opinion. And it's just a kick in the teeth, because it just seems to always work out like this for Tottenham, right? We beat Liverpool 4-1 those times under Pochettino. We're the ones that regressed. They're the ones that kicked on. We beat Arsenal 3-0 in that Champions League playoff under Conte. We all thought we were going to kick on from there, and it's going to make a big difference for us. They're the one that kicked on. We're the ones that went backwards. And it just seems it's the same thing now. That's
the worry. And it seemed that's obviously, look, we're only 2 weeks out. So, it's hard to say definitively, but 100% we're kind of dawdling over a manager, and other teams are getting serious business done. Serious business. 2 of the best players outside of the top 6 have been snapped up. And
that is 40 goals between them.
And those are the players we should 100% have been looking at, or 100% have been serious about, and should have gone quickly and swooped in. Now, supposedly, those 2 have chosen Man United because they're Man United fans who are younger, and it's hard to compete with that. If they've chosen Man United because they want to join Man United rather than any footballing reason, there's not much you can do about it. So whether we would have got them anyway is hard to say. But it's on the face of it, we've won Europa League. We're now paralysed to make any sort of decisions when it comes to the manager, and on the consequence of that is we can't move quickly in the market. And the team that we've beaten in the final have swooped in, taken 2 of the best talents, gettable talents in the Premier League, and we don't know what we're doing at the moment, and we're falling behind in the market. They've swooped in on 2 players we should have been seriously interested in. And now who's left? We're going to have to be a lot more creative now in the market and go for deals, which obviously in the past, sometimes people have said that these kind of deals have held them back. Obviously, we need to get Eze, essentially. If we miss out on Eze, where do we go in terms of Prem proven talent who's gettable? There's all of a sudden you're really running out.
All of a sudden, your best option is probably Noni Madueke. And I don't know if he's the right player to take us to really improve that front line.
Unless you can somehow convince West Ham to do some deals with you, but even then, that's going to be hard. But you're struggling. Can you do any deals?
Dibbling, that's where we're going to land on, isn't it?
Can you do deals with Brighton for Minteb? How much is that going to cost you? Or Matoma? How much is that going to cost you? It's it's just very difficult all of a sudden. Now these talents are getting swooped up by clubs who are much more on the money right now, on the pulse. So, but look, that's not to take away from Tell. I do think this could be a very good deal and very good signing for us in the future. But it's hard to not overlook the fact that he's been in the Premier League for 6 months, and he's obviously not shown anywhere near the level Cunha and Mbeumo have. And those 2 players are much more of a sure thing than Tellers, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And last but not least for this update, we've got some quotes from Pedro Porro, which were quite interesting. I think it was an interview with Sid Lowe today that's been coming out, and some of the quotes I've got here. It says, talking about Ange, and his says, him continuing would be a good for the dressing room. He's built a very good group, and coaches need time. In the league, things didn't go well, but he makes you win a trophy. That's important too. The people in the dressing room with weight have to understand that. And then he was asked, hang on, do you mean that there's some players who don't understand that? And he says, no, it's simply just that we're inside. We know more or less how things are. No, I'm not going to lie. It did impact me to see people say they were going to sack him, to be honest. I'm very close to him. He's been an important coach for me, and it's thanks to him that I have brought out my best football in these 2 years. It's complicated because in football in general, things don't always depend on you. But honestly, in the team, I think, in my opinion, we're happy with him. And, that goes back to what Alistair Gold was saying a couple of days ago. There's a fear within the club. Sacking Ange Postecoglou could resolve in a backlash within the squad. And, that definitely aligns with what Pedro Porro is saying now.
Yeah, it's another player who's come out very strongly public. That's probably the strongest kind of sentiment we've heard surrounding Ange Postecoglou. And I don't like when people say, oh, it's not like he's going to say he hates the manager and stuff like that, which is true, but you don't have to come out that strongly. That's also true. When managers are not fancied by a lot of players, you don't have to say anything. You can say, I don't want to talk about it or whatever. You don't have to come out and say, I'm hurt by the talk of him being sacked and we all want to keep him and I'm really close with him, all that kind of thing. You don't say that if it's not true. Like you maybe say other things, but it doesn't like every manager gets that sort of backing from every player.
Yeah.
So I think it is significant, in my opinion, and that goes to show how much the players are behind him, and there's more evidence of that. Obviously, I do think, especially in the last couple of months, Porro's been brilliant, and I think he's been working with Ange in terms of maybe not trying to not get caught out as much as he has been, and staying back and using Porro more kind of like a Trent role where he uses his quality from deep with that passing ability. So I'm sure that Porro's been appreciating of that. And obviously we saw in the final, after he won it, Porro jumped on his back and they had that moment after winning the final in Bilbao. So look, the players have had their say. The club will have to wait and hear for what they're going to do. But it seems as though if the club are going to take what the players want into account, then they'll keep him. But clearly the club might want to go in a different direction.
Yeah, it's like how many times over the past years have we seen kind of player revolts and players knocking on the chairman's door saying we don't want this manager anymore.
Leaks, yeah.
And leaks and stuff coming out saying training's too hard, the training's too low, all this kind of stuff.
It's a bad atmosphere in the dressing room.
Yeah, all that.
We've heard a lot of that.
Loads. Over the years, we heard it under Conte, Mourinho, even at the back end of Poch, we heard these kind of stuff coming out.
Even at Nuno, I think.
Nuno. All these managers that have fallen by the wayside, we've heard these things about. Whereas Ange, all we're hearing is how much the players love him, how much the players are behind him, and how much they want him to stay. Mm-hmm. So it's just beggars belief, like why we don't know the future of the manager right now. We're like, what is it, over 10 days after the final now. Levy's gone and come back from his holiday, and we still don't know what the hell is going on.
Mm-hmm. Have you got more quotes here? Because he said some more interesting stuff.
The only other one I got is him talking about the European trophy, and he says it's more than 40 years since a European trophy. People's reactions was lovely. When you get on the bus and go around London, you feel how important it is. You change families' lives. They had suffered. We had suffered too inside day by day. It's not that Spurs' season has been mostly awful or that they hadn't won in almost 2 decades. It was that they had become a kind of running joke, a meme. That's just like people's opinions. Of course, that reaches you, but we don't care. Actually, in fact, I would say thanks to them, because it can be extra motivation, petrol to fuel you. And we won, let them talk and do all the memes they want now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and clearly, I mean, it's true. They've definitely shut up a lot. This group has been the one to shut up a lot of the people, a lot of the noise outside about never winning a trophy and trophyless, Warrior Trophy, all these different things. Now I love it. It's moved over to Arsenal. I've seen on social media. Now every time Tottenham used to tweet something, it's like Warrior Trophy, and now it's Arsenal have been the ones because they're nearly 5 years without a trophy. Now it's Warrior Trophy for them, which is fun to see. But
don't you love how the narrative has completely switched between Tottenham and Arsenal fans? Because back when like we had Pochettino and we were finishing second and third and losing in semi-finals and finals and whatever, all Arsenal fans used to say it means absolutely nothing without a trophy, and that means absolutely nothing without a trophy. And now they're just like, oh, wouldn't you prefer to be in our position? Like, that's all they're saying right now. Wouldn't you prefer to be in our position than your position? Blah, blah, blah. And now they're like, oh, but that trophy means absolutely nothing. Like, what? Like, we're in a much better position than you. Like, but we were saying, but this is exactly what we were saying to you under Pochettino, and you're completely the other side of it.
They don't have a leg to stand on.
It's madness.
They don't have a leg to stand on. What's quite interesting as well is he was talking about the form in the Premier League compared to the Europa League. He said the coach wanted to compete in both competitions because he's a winner. But when you have a clear idea that you can do something big, you're focused more on one thing than the other. We know that through the Premier League, it was impossible to reach Europe, and that the only option and the only objective was to win the Europa League. In the Europa League, different demands are made of you. You have focus on pressing better, defending better. You saw it. 3 clean sheets in the last 3 games. Don't let in goals, and we have a dynamite up front. We said if we keep a clean sheet, we had a good chance. And then Sid Lowe asked him, but that doesn't sound like Ange ball. And he was altering his approach. He says, well, look at the final. I say to everyone, people can tell the story of that game anywhere they like. What matters in the end is that you win. People say we didn't have a shot on goal. What does it matter? Football is like that. Sometimes you have 50 shots on goal and you don't score, and others one is enough. That's called effectiveness. And then had a couple of pot shots at Arsene Wenger and Tim Sherwood as well, because Wenger said they should be Champions League, and Sherwood obviously called out Porro on his debut, and he had a few pot shots at them. But yeah, in terms of that, obviously that was clearly defeat. That's what Ange has been saying about how they went for that Europa League once anything in the league had disappeared. And clearly the players also believed that as well. That was the sentiment in the dressing room, it seems.
The players would have definitely bought into it, no doubt about it. Like, the players were finding it hard to motivate themselves for the Premier League game for a long time, because when you know you're not going to get relegated, when you know there's not much further up the table that you can go, like, what is there to motivate you to play these Premier League games? And yeah, you know, we were saying at the time, you're wearing the badge, you should always be motivated. But it's not them going out and just trying to throw the game. It's a subconscious thing. Like, you go out there, but it's more or less just a training regime.
Yeah, and how many times do you see it at other clubs? Well,
you've seen Liverpool at the end of the season after the title was won. They barely won a game. Arsenal, once the title was lost, they've been terrible. I mean, they've been pretty terrible for a while. But, you know, it's been like, it goes like that with any team.
That's why it's always an advantage to play teams who are, you know, about to play in Europe, all these kind of stuff or whatever, because their minds on something bigger or something else. Unless they've got obviously something to fight for in the Premier League, but we didn't. Our Premier League campaign was dead. We had all our eggs in that basket, and not only were we, it's hard to motivate the team, but also we're playing our second team on top of that. So we're playing like an unmotivated second team essentially, which look, it's not great. I'm not going to sit and say I'm happy about it, but that's just reality of the situation. And but the thing is, we did go that extra step in the Europa League. Like, we put all our focus on it, and we won it. It's not like it was for no reason. Like, there was a clear objective there, and we really believed if we did that, we were going to take this trophy and win a major European trophy and get back in the Champions League. And it worked, and we did it. Like, it wasn't as if it was a plan that was a stupid plan. It worked, and you know, for whatever you want to say about it, I think that was the right call to do.
Yeah, I agree. And as much as it was painful watching it week in, week out in the Premier League, by the end of it, you know, we're happy because we take home the trophy. You look at the interviews with players surrounding the whole season, even before the league campaign went to shit. You know, Maddison came out and said it. Ange has been out and said it, talking about bringing home a trophy to this football club and what it would mean to everyone at the club and what it would mean to everyone inside and outside of the club. And you can see the parade, you could see what it meant to us in Bilbao, how many fans we took to Bilbao. and everything like that. Like the aim of this season, whatever you want to say at the beginning, was the sole aim, not the sole aim, but the priority aim was to bring back a trophy. And we've done that.
Yeah, I think, and if you asked any Tottenham fan at the beginning of the season, what would be the priority this season, I'm pretty sure most would have said that Europa League.
Yeah.
Most people would have said, well, I think we should win that Europa League. Put all the eggs in that Europa League basket. Really, in fact, if you, I don't know, look, this is just off memory, but I'm pretty sure we did a call-in show, and everyone said, I think we should go really hard for that Europa League. I'm pretty sure most people were saying that at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, 17th is not what we expected in the league, and it's an unacceptable league position, no doubt about it, and we all understand that. But that is what we wanted. We wanted that Europa League. We weren't obviously top 4 would have been great as well, or top 5, and a respectable league position,
or even top 10.
Whatever, top 10 would have been great as well. But everyone wanted that Europa. That is what we wanted at the beginning of the season. So, especially once that league season had gone, and putting all the eggs in that basket was 100%. I think what the fans should have wanted.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I think that, there's still a very good case for fans that are very angry with the league campaign finishing 17th. It's obviously very, very, it's completely right for these fans to feel that the way that they do with finishing 17th in the league. But you have to look at everything that's gone through the season. And when you finish it with a European title, then you just got to kind of just take it as it is and just be happy of how we've been able to achieve such success in such a turbulent season as well. So look, what more can we say on it but that we're European champions, hasn't come without any failures in the league, because the failure in the league has been completely unacceptable. But I think it buys him more time. It's not going to buy him more time, but I think it should buy him more time. And when you're looking at the reactions of players coming out in support of Ange Postecoglou, that should also buy him more time.
There's just been some more updates I'm seeing about, well, The Athletic are reporting Ange will focus on recruiting experience should he remain as Tottenham coach. He says Spurs made an inquiry for Johan Wissa in January, but Brentford were unwilling to sell him mid-season. The forward now only had a year remaining on his contract, although Brentford had the option to extend it by a further 12 months. Yeah,
I read this article this morning. It's actually, there's no concrete news in it saying that Spurs are still interested. It's just going over what we did in January, and we made a bid for Wissa, and they're not even saying we could go in again.
But I mean, talking about Wissa and Dibbling and Angel Gomez after winning a Europa League and getting to that Champions League, it's not great, is it?
No, not great at all. When has getting Champions League football ever kicked this football club on? Ever? Tell me. I don't think it ever has.
When has it ever kicked us on? I guess you could say, I guess it wasn't the fact that we got Champions League football, but I guess getting Champions League football did kick us on under Poch, but we didn't. I mean, in terms of in the transfer market, I guess you can't really say it did.
This is the life of a Tottenham Hotspur fan, people. But look, that is the Tottenham update. We're going to move on and talk about various other aspects now of what the hell is going on at this football club. Because like we mentioned, it's been over 10 days since that. It was borderline coming on to 2 weeks now of that Europa League final.
It's like 10 days since the season ended.
Yeah, it was 10 days since the season ended. And there's just been complete radio silence from this club. Complete radio silence. And you were thinking, like, after the Europa League final, after the goodwill that they've got after such a shit season that we've been through, you would think, like, they'd get that act together, confirm who the manager is one way or another, whether he's leaving, whether he's going. This is not the point right now. The point is moving into this market with purpose, moving into this market to get some experience in, to sprinkle around these young players that we have. And you're looking at everyone around us. Arsenal got Zubimendi in there, very, advanced on whether it be Sesko or Gyökeres. One of those players are going to come to the football club with Arsenal. Liverpool, Trent goes out the door, bang, Frimpong, straight in. You're looking at Manchester United, terrible, just as bad a season as us, finishing 15th in the league, losing that final, don't even have European football next year. Bang, Cunha and Buemo through the door. There's even rumours of someone like Gyökeres coming through the door for them. Like, they're taking that club to the next level. All these clubs are making serious moves in the market, And
Chelsea as well.
Chelsea, who did they bring in?
Delap. And
Delap,
they're now in talks with Mike Maignan.
Well, there you go. The Chelsea as well. So, I mean, all these clubs, Man City as well, they're like, looks like they're getting Tijani Reinders through the door. It looks like they're getting Ryan Cherky through the door. It's like all these players as well. Ryan Cherky was linked with us. We were saying we'd love to see him. Cunha, we'd love to see him through the door. And Buemo, we'd love to see him. Like all these players. And one by one, these players are getting picked off. And we'll be left with absolute scraps in this transfer market. And it just beggars belief how this club is being run, especially after you get Champions League football, and the narrative always around getting Champions League football is right now is the time to kick on. No, but Spurs, we rest on our laurels and we actually go backwards because everyone else is getting snapped up. And there's just complete silence out of the club. We heard last week about the questions about Ange Postecoglou, and, you know, Romano said in the coming hours, the decision is going to be made. Even Paul O'Keefe said Daniel Levy knows what decision he's going to take, but he hasn't verbalized it to anyone in the club or to Ange or anyone. And we're still sitting here. We're still sitting here on Tuesday, the 3rd of June, not knowing what the hell is going on.
Transfer window's open.
Yeah, it opened on the 1st of June. It opened on Saturday.
Transfer window's currently open, and we're sitting here with basically our dick in our hands, not doing anything. What is going on at this football club? What is actually happening in that boardroom right now? Have we made a decision? Have we not made a decision? Are we moving forward next season? Are we planning? Are we getting transfer targets in place? Are we looking forward how we're going to restructure the squad? Do we know who the manager's going to be? Have we decided on a manager? Have we had serious talks? Have we agreed anything? And what is going on? Why is there such a lack of movement right now? Because teams are getting a move on. And I know it's right early on in the window, don't get me wrong. I understand there's a whole summer ahead, right? I understand that. And it's still very early on, but we're already lagging behind. Teams are already getting a move on. Teams are already getting plans in place for next season. They're already, they look like they've got a plan in place and they're executing it very ruthlessly. Every team, it seems, in that top 6. Why are they doing that now? Why aren't they waiting until a few weeks? Because now's the time. Now's the time to jump ahead of the competition. Not wait till the last minute to get the best deal. Put the money on the table and get these people in as early as possible so that we're as ready as possible for that next season. And we haven't even decided on a manager, let alone any players. So if we keep Ange, maybe he has a better idea of what he wants, because obviously he's been here for 2 years and we can start moving straight away. But if we change manager, which is whatever, if we decide to do it, we do it, but do it as quickly as possible, because they're going to have to take a look at the squad. They're going to have to make a decision who they want, who they don't want. They're going to have to take a good look at all these players. If it's Thomas Frank, who's got a history of maybe, improving players or making use of what he's got, he might want to just wait till pre-season to see exactly what he wants rather than make decisions beforehand. So that's going to take time as well. This boardroom seems to be paralyzed in indecision right now. It seems to be just not doing anything, taking time and time. Each day when we're losing is making a difference.
Another target goes every day.
Each day is making a difference. And these, I read a report yesterday, someone like Delap, I know it wasn't about Tottenham, but he was saying he looked at Man United and he saw their low league position and he saw their indecision about the manager, apparently, which I don't understand because I didn't seem to have much indecision. But he said, and apparently,
well, there was, because Amorim had to come out and said, "Yeah, I'm staying," because of the talk about it.
Okay, so I guess it was a bit of indecision, but Tottenham, that's that times 100. Because we're sitting here, there's reports saying he's been sacked. Nothing's come out from the club. We don't know what's going on. So what is going on in that boardroom right now? Donna Cullen, I know, has now stepped down, and another person stepped down. So what is actually going on? Is anyone making a decision? Is everyone pointing at each other to make the decision? Is anything happening there? Are they talking? There's all these rumors about unrest in the boardroom, about some stuff going on with Levy, about, I don't know, all these different things. Is there any truth to it? Because the evidence suggests there might be. If we're going on what we're seeing by this football club right now, nothing happening when it comes to the decision to hire a manager or not. Nothing is happening. It's all very, very quiet, all hush-hush. What is the wait? Why are we waiting? Are we waiting to announce the kit? Is that what we're waiting for? And then we can handle the manager. We're going to put this whole club on hold so we can announce a bloody kit. Is that what we're doing?
The whole thing is an absolute mess. It's an absolute mess at this football club. And when you think it can't get worse, it gets worse. And it's just pure incompetency from the people high at the top. Like I said before, winning the Europa League, like Daniel said, was supposed to be a springboard for us to go and achieve better things. Well, how can it be a springboard when you haven't even made a decision 10 days after the season finishes about who the manager is going to be next season? What kind of springboard is that? All it is a broken plank.
What must the players be thinking as well?
And the players are coming out, in full support of Ange. And if the players are coming out in support of Ange, the fans are mostly backing Ange after if you're looking at the parade and everything. How together the club was for that 48-hour period from the cup final, or not even the 48-hour period, but I would say from Frankfurt all the way to the parade, We had such togetherness with the fans, with the good stuff that they were doing with fan interaction and stuff. And it's just all being thrown out the window right now. But it really is.
But is there something going on right now?
Look, if you want to go look at the rumours on social media, a few ITKs talking about things. THFC Himothy said that Daniel Levy was asked to sack Donna Cullen by Peter Charrington, and Levy was really upset but had no option. This is so Levy could get what he wants, whether that's a minority stake or some sort of way out. And there's been all these texts doing the rounds on social media as well. I don't know if we have them here.
Yeah. Well, there's all these texts. Look, take them with a pinch of salt, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
You never know what's true. It's probably all rubbish. But there are these things circling around about Levy, his position, and what's going on in the boardroom right now about splitting the boardroom. There's a lot of stuff just swirling around. And obviously, I'm not going to sit and say I definitely believe it, but what I'm seeing right now about the indecision would tell me there must be something to it, or there might be something to it anyway, or there's a chance there is, because what is going on in that boardroom, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Like, it seems as though no one wants to make a decision right now.
Yeah. And so one of the texts says, being told Ange was told today that he has to return to London tomorrow. Ange not happy. Levy might be forced out after this. Levy was set on sacking Ange before that final. Vinay was furious with Levy and confronted him about it. They will undoubtedly not keep working together. I think from what it seems, Levy will be forced to sell. This is the closest it has ever been. And another one we have here says that it's carnage. It's carnage at Tottenham at the moment. Don't be shocked to see Daniel go this week. Peter Charrington stepping up as new CEO. Decision on Ange has been taken out of Daniel's hands. Joe Lewis's daughter runs the trust. Now that owns the club. She hates Daniel and genuinely wants Tottenham, the actual football club. Remember that, anyone, to do well. Hotel block project has been scrapped. I mean, look, I don't know how true all these texts and rumors are.
I would have maybe believed it before they said hotel has been scrapped. I'm like, are they really going to do that? They're bloody building it, like outside the stadium. Like, I really can't believe that. But I've just seen a message here. You're giving life to rumors with nothing to back them, and I understand that. But the reality is, it's not us giving life to them. It's the club right now, and their indecision and their silence is giving life to a lot of these rumors. Nothing is going on. It's all silent. We've got a manager who's just won a European Cup and he doesn't know if he's going to be in a job for next season. 10 days after the final, we're supposed to be a proper football club making plans and having a strategy, and it seems right now there's absolutely nothing to suggest that we know what we're doing. Nothing. Where's the suggestion that we have a plan for next season? Where's the suggestion that we actually know what we want? Do we know what we want? Do we know what we want to do for next season?
No.
It seems as like we're pissing in the wind. We don't know what we're doing.
We are pissing in the wind, and it's just complete lack of leadership from top to bottom. Protests all season, gaining traction and gaining numbers throughout. You've got rumours of complete, chaos going on at board level at Tottenham. And if there's chaos going on at board level, that's always going to filter down to what's going on. And is there any correlation? Is there any coincidence that we're hearing these rumours of chaos at board level and we don't know who our manager is going to be next season? Because if there wasn't chaos at board level and if there wasn't kind of madness going on at the top, surely we would be knowing who our manager is going to be, and surely we would be moving forward and using that Europa League as a springboard, as Daniel said.
100%. Do they really need 10 days after a season to decide? 10 days.
Yeah.
This is a £4 billion business, which every day they don't decide, and every day with indecision, they're falling behind the competition when it comes to signing players and moving forward for next season and planning for next season. Every day that happens. So why is it taking 10 days if there isn't some sort of unrest, or if there isn't some sort of problem in the boardroom right now, or maybe disagreement? Let's say for me, the evidence, unless they're going to prove me wrong and come out with something soon, there's something going on in that boardroom that they're not letting on, and there's something wrong there, because what is going on? Why is it taking 10 days? Why are we hearing nothing? Why are we hearing Levy is going to take time? Right, we heard at the end of the season he might take time over his decision, but it's been 10 days. What is the hold up?
How much longer? How much longer?
You get the board together, you get one meeting, you have the decision, you make it. What's 10 days?
Yeah.
And why is it if it's we're waiting to go on holiday? Why are you going on holiday when this big decision's hanging over the club?
But Paul O'Keefe literally said before the weekend, Levy knows what decision he's going to make regarding the manager. So why the hell has that not been put in motion? Why the hell do we not know what decision that is right now? He's back from holiday, what, yesterday, 2 days ago? But how do we not know? It's madness.
What's this? Paperwork. I'm just saying Ali Gold has tweeted about something. But
What's
I'm
he
guessing,
said?
I think it's just Vinay being officially... Tottenham officially submitted paperwork to Company's House for Vinay's appointment as CEO. That's all it is.
So it can't be... So the rumours of all these texts saying Charrington's going to be the new CEO can't be true then, if Vinay is appointed. Because Vinay was officially supposed to come in as CEO.
Yeah.
So Vinay's the head honcho, or the one just below Levy as it stands.
Well, that's the papers just submitted to Company's House. So, yep. Well, we were talking to Martin yesterday, who was saying basically Donna was the de facto CEO, even though she wasn't the title.
Yeah.
And he's basically just going to take over that kind of role.
Yeah. And that's what's coming to pass right now.
Mm-hmm. So, well, look, maybe it's all this change which is leading to the indecision. The fact that we're bringing a new CEO, maybe bring Fabio into board level as well. We want to wait for all these things to come into place. But this should have been done, I guess. Vinay can only join, I guess, on the 1st of June or whatever it was. But still, I don't understand why it's taking so long. I don't understand why we haven't heard anything yet. And with each day passing, we're falling further behind, and it's very, very frustrating for everyone. And it's like everyone has their shit together, it seems, except for us.
Yeah.
Everyone has their books in order. Everyone has their plans, and we're just sitting here like, who do we want to even be our manager? We don't even know. We don't even know what the manager situation is going to be. We don't know what we're doing.
I don't even know what to say with this football club anymore. It's just like every time. I mean, shit like this has never happened. Like, this is like worse than ever. But I'm just lost for words. I really am lost for words. I really thought after winning a cup and bringing a trophy home, like, it could be a signal of intent, and could be a signal to change, and it could be a springboard to better things. But it just seems like we're going backwards again. That's just what it seems like. Look, it could all change. Vinay could come in as CEO, and he could start making decisions. We'll know who our manager is today, tomorrow, and then we can get kick-started. But even so, like, can you even think of players that can come in, Champions League ready players that are going to come in and really make a difference? Or are we just going to keep with the plan and go with for someone like Dibbling, sign up Tell and stuff like that, like, and just carry on signing these teenagers that are nowhere near Champions League ready?
And the reality is, whatever you want to say about these rumours, if there's anything to them or not, the longer this goes on, the more they're going to grow. And if they want to shut up these rumours, then actually make a decision and actually let's get going. Let's get going with the new season. And I know we're only 10 days out of the old season, but this is football, and in 2025, and it moves very quickly. It moves at a very quick pace. We've already seen, as I've said, every other club pretty much we want to compete with next season are already making those moves, and they're already putting plans in place, and we're not. So football doesn't stop. It doesn't stop even for a week. It doesn't stop for 10 days. It doesn't stop for one day. You've got to get a move on, and it seems as though we're sitting and doing nothing, and we have to get our booking, get our whatever terms are. We have to get organised and start planning.
Get a house in order.
Get our house in order.
So it looks as though Matt Law has just done an article on literally everything that we're talking about right now. Oh, this was yesterday. This was the article that he did yesterday about Collicott and Donna Cullen. But that's also another point that we never raised. Like Collicott and other board members also been displaced from the board on Company's House.
Mm-hmm.
So there's clearly something big happening behind the scenes. Whatever you want to say, like maybe these texts and Levy going and all like that is very premature and not really what's going on. But there's definitely something big happening behind the scenes with such a big shift in the boardroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And maybe all this change is what's leading to the delay and in the indecision, because everyone just wants to wait until everything's kind of put in place on board level before they start filtering down the decisions for footballing wise. But it's just, if that's the case, then whatever. But it's just very frustrating that it's taking so long. We're 10 days out of the season and nothing's happening. Like, I don't understand why it's taking so long to make a decision on this manager.
Yeah,
that's what I don't understand. And if there's consensus or not, just get on with it, Tottenham. Get on with it.
We were talking, I think, 2 days after the parade about how important it is to move quickly and move swiftly and move forward with purpose. And they're literally doing the bang opposite of that. The bang of you couldn't get more opposite of what we said.
End of the spectrum.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the complete opposite. If we do sack Ange and bring a new manager, it's even going to set us further back, because they're going to have their own ideas and they're going to have to I don't know if they'll have to restructure the squad, but they're going to have to look at the squad completely and decide what they really want and all these different things. Maybe there'll be players who we think right now are out, and they'll say, actually, I want to keep them, and all these different things. Yeah. So it's even going to be set further back if Ange is sacked, which is not a reason not to keep him if they really believe, okay, we need to move on, whatever, just make the decision. But I'm just saying, if we do sack him, it's going to set us further back, and that's the reality.
Do you think the longer the silence goes on, the more likely it is to keep him, or the more likely it is that he's going to leave?
I would like to say keep him, just because if we are going to sack him, the later we do it, the worse it is. Yeah. If we're going to keep him, does it really matter when it's officially announced or whatever? Because he will know more or less what he's looking for going forward, so we can move a lot quicker.
That's true, but if we were going to keep him, then we should be cracking on with signings and
100%.
Cracking on with transfer targets already.
100%. And it doesn't also bode well for his relationship with the hierarchy. The longer they ponder over it, and they make him wait, left feeling what is happening, and then if they decide to get at that point, you get to a point where if you decide to keep him, the trust is broken. Yeah. From both.
And you just know at the first sign of any sort of trouble, then that's it. He's gone. Bang.
Then that's
2 or 3 losses in a row at the start of next season. Bang, he's gone. Which that might be the best course of action. I don't know, but I kind of feel like the longer this goes on, I don't think it makes the blind bit of difference. I think he's gone either way. I just can't see a way where they keep him after everything that's come out.
Yeah, it's a bit of a juxtaposition. So the longer it takes, the less trust there is with the board and him. But on the flip side, the longer it takes, the longer it's gonna, if we do change manager, the longer it's gonna take to get a move on for next season. So it's like worse either way. The way we're dealing with this is absolutely horrific.
It's an absolute circus. This football club is an absolute circus, and we need to get to the bottom of what is going wrong. Indecision at the top, not knowing what is going on, don't know what next season's going to look like, don't know who our manager is going to be. And this is all off the back of winning a European trophy, giving us the best day of our lives.
Should be a summer
the best
of glory.
2 or 3 days of our lives. And only Tottenham can have that moment and then be an absolute meltdown a week later. Mm-hmm. It's madness.
Should have been a summer of celebration, and it's turned into a summer of complete indecision.
Yeah.
Got a super chat from the Joracle. He says, we seem to be we seem to be the most important work, which is the board and execs. So then comes the manager, then comes players. So far, so good. As for Ange, evidence is clear.
Evidence is clear on what? That he needs to go?
I guess so. That's what I think he's saying.
But I mean, look, there is clear evidence to suggest that he should go based on the season as a whole. for sure. I don't disagree with that. But he has won the trophy. He does have the clear backing of the squad. And now he's built up a lot of goodwill with the fans as well. So, I mean, there's evidence to suggest that he should stay as well. I think there's evidence suggesting both things.
Yeah, and I think we're more likely for me to have a better chance of kicking on, in my opinion, if we stick with him rather than change, because either way it's a risk. Either way,
you never know what change can bring. That is the reality.
No, it's true, but on the flip side, how often as well it takes managers a bit of time to settle into the role and start getting that team. Obviously, yes, there's a chance it hits the ground running, but with each manager, well, especially with a project manager like Frank, you know, there's a good chance he's going to need time as well. A very good chance. And why not try and see the third year of a project and see if he can really build something rather than starting again? Because you could always start again at any point. But if there's a chance this project can work, why not give it the best chance rather than just saying scrap it, we're going to start again because we've got no belief in it? Then you're basically saying let's start another 2 to 3 year project when you're literally in the middle of one and there's a chance it can still work. That's kind of my feeling.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Where the hell? We're just like basically just sitting here. All I've been doing over the past like 48 hours is just, when I'm not on screen, just sitting there scrolling on my phone, waiting for this update, waiting for this update, waiting for this update. Still hasn't come. Still has not come. And I just can't believe it. I can't believe I'm sitting here on the 3rd of June and I still don't know who my manager is going to be next season. It's just pure incompetence. That's all it is incompetence.
Georgiou with another super chat. He says, another ENIC masterclass in ineptitude, Ange in.
Yeah, big up, George. Absolutely spot on.
Nothing ever changes with this bloody ENIC, does it?
No, it just gets worse. It does change. It just gets worse.
Consistently, the same problems. Same indecision. And nothing ever changes.
And you know what? Things do change because 2 of the board members have now gone. We need complete change at boardroom level at this football club if we're ever going to kick on. That's what we need. How many times have we told, yeah, we need the Champions League revenue to come in for Tottenham to kick on? When has that ever changed anything at this football club, Champions League revenue? All it does is lull us into a false sense of security saying, yeah, we've reached the promised land, and then we just go downwards again. That's all it does.
Rival, what was that comment? I've lost it now. One sec. Can't find it.
What did it say?
It was saying he thinks the silence means Ange is in.
Silence means Ange is. I mean,
he says Ben Simeone reads too many press releases. The silence means Ange is in.
You got to read what the stories are at the moment, and the stories are, whether you believe it or not, there is a big power struggle at Tottenham Hotspur right now. And you know what? We actually heard these stories towards the back end of last season anyway. Like, it's not the first that we're hearing of a power struggle at the top of Tottenham.
Yeah. Matt says, I'm surprised that you two are shocked with the chaos in the boardroom. Same rubbish, different year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know what we should like be expecting right now. It's just all up. It's so up in the air.
Another super chat here from Samuel Lynch saying, Arsenal relegation, come on you Spurs, and big up to you guys. You know what?
They've been relegated to the trophy dodgers. Come on.
Thinking and talking about Arsenal is just so far where my mind is at right now. And this is what it should be right now. We should be sticking it to them about trophies and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just at a loss for words how bad things have got at Tottenham.
Tage James says...
Sorry.
Tage James says, it's as if the more things change, the more they remain the same. All this supposed change in the boardroom, but the reality is it's another year where we are yet to get going in the transfer market.
Yeah.
Every year's the same. We're just always lack of planning. And we're doing it yet again.
So it's always going to come back to it every season, every moment. And as always, Levy out, ENIC out. Change in the boardroom is needed for Spurs to kick on.
God. So frustrating. Honestly. I had to get that rant out there.
Big up to you though. 17 1,770 people in here in the chat on this fine Tuesday afternoon. Everyone do go and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button as well if you're new around here. We do bring you daily Tottenham content and everything like that. I think Rival Appliances says it right, man. Come on, Ben Simeone deserve a like.
Come on, get those likes up. Big up to everyone in the chat right now. What do you guys think in the chat? Is there something going on in the boardroom right now? Is the silence evidence of a struggle in the boardroom, or are we reading too much into things?
Look, we very well could be reading too much into it about, you know, the extent of the power struggle and Levy being pushed out and all these kind of things. Like we could. But I think the evidence of the indecision does suggest something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we're completely wide of the mark of what is going on, definitely something's going on. I think that is clear for everyone to see.
Whether there's a boardroom struggle or not, the indecision speaks, and the silence does say a lot. Regardless of whether there's a power struggle, the silence says a lot about what is going on in that boardroom right now, about a lack of decision making, lack of decisiveness.
And when have we ever been like so quick to relieve a manager, so slow to relieve a manager of their duties? Like Ange could have been sacked like 5 times over this season. Stuck with him, fair enough, good decision. We won the Europa League. But I don't understand. Like I've never seen this before at Tottenham. Like usually Levy's just bang on the pulse, bang, sack him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I remember.
Maybe we're not sacking him.
I'm trying to remember when we had the Harry Redknapp situation. When he got sacked, how quickly after the season was he sacked?
It was pretty soon after the season, wasn't it?
Let's see, Harry Redknapp sacked.
Wasn't it like just straight after the season he was sacked?
Yeah, but did they like wait a week or was it straight away? 13th of June. Which is around. No, it would have been around now.
Or now we're the 3rd of June. When did the season finish? Got another super chat here from Essa El Shamari saying, this could be a reach, but do you think the power struggle has anything to do with the manager situation? Well, it could be. I mean, it could be a boardroom split.
Harry Redknapp waited a month. 13th of May was the end of the season, and we sacked him on 13th of June.
But I can't remember how it all played out. Like, did we know that he was going to get sacked?
I think it was very much up in the air. Obviously, we had top 4, but we
didn't get Champions League.
We didn't get Champions League because we fell apart near the end, and we finished 4th. And then Chelsea won the Champions League.
But ultimately, what Harry got sacked for was going for the England job. Isn't that what he got sacked for?
Well, our form kind of tailed when he went for the England job. I think it was a lot to do with something about him.
Or was it the court case he was in?
Yeah, no, there was that. And there was also, I heard, actually, Donna Cullen told me this, about that Harry Redknapp was demanding a huge contract off Daniel Levy on the day that his mother died.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying that. But wasn't there a case of Daniel offering Harry a contract, a fairly good contract, Harry rejecting it, and then after rejecting it, coming back like a lot later, saying on that day, saying, you know what, I'll take that contract now,
or demanding a higher one.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was. He was like demanding terms, and it was on the day Daniel's mother died, and he took a thing. He didn't like that at all.
Took offence to it.
Yeah, and
which is fair enough.
And that was it. And also off the back of the court case, off the back of the falling apart at the end of the season, when we should have been we should have been 3rd clear, and we should have been. I think we were 13 points above Arsenal, weren't we, that season, and we didn't finish above them. All of that led to what happened, but obviously, off the back of that, we waited a month after the season to sack him. So there is, I guess, precedent for this hierarchy waiting, you could say. But I don't know if they were thinking of. Well, obviously they were thinking of keeping him. I guess is a difference because they offered him a contract.
But also, Harry wasn't sacked on sporting merit. It was nothing to do with sporting merit. Like Ange is going to get sacked on sporting merit.
Yeah,
and if you are going to get sacked on sporting merit, surely the decision is going to be made already.
It should have been made already, 100%.
Like Harry was a different case because of all the things you were talking about. Like,
and they offered him a contract. So clearly the initial plan was to keep him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure when Levy's mother passed away. Like, was it? But in that time, in the time of May to June.
Well, it must have.
So I mean, that obviously plays a key role in that. Like Ange, if he's going to get sacked, it's because he's finished 17th.
Yeah.
And we've known he's finished 17th for a long time now.
Yeah.
Joshua Bonner with the super chat. Big up to you, Josh. Says, season exposed the lack of depth and quality in our squad, and we were trying to play high level across several competitions. Levy will look for a manager like Frank, who's used to not spending money like Frank.
Yeah, I do think there's definitely something to that in terms of Frank is like the perfect kind of coach for Levy. Someone who works on a budget, someone who overperforms their wage, the what's called the wage budget that for Brentford for many years. He's probably going to be happy to be there, like Ange on that front, but happy to be there and very adaptable, and probably will work with what he's got rather than. I think Ange is the same, but I think what Ange requires, the way he wants to play football, requires a bit of higher level. Whereas maybe Frank can work a bit more with what he's got than on evidence than Ange will. Like Frank might go into the season with no signings and think I can work with it.
Yeah, but what does working with it mean though for Frank? Because we've only ever seen him work at Brentford. We've only ever seen him, work under those kind of constraints, and the constraints under Brentford are a lot less than the constraints for Tottenham, right? Mm-hmm. But let's say he's working with what he's got. What does that look like for Frank? What is his targets going to be for next season?
Just get back in the Champions League via the league, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's going to be capable of doing it. Who knows?
Another super chat here from Majid says he's still contracted. They don't have to say anything. And yeah, that's true. It's true.
No,
They don't have to say anything. However, with this day and age of social media, with this day and age of the Paul O'Keefes of this world, the Ali Golds of this world, all the journalists that are writing consistently about Tottenham, you would have heard something.
And if he was staying, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, or either way, we have heard things about him being sacked. So that is where it's leaning, in my opinion. But if they are going to sack him, they should have done it way sooner than this.
Yeah.
I think the silence makes more sense in terms of going forward. It probably makes more sense if you are going to keep him, because there's no need to make a statement, and as well, hopefully Ange is continuing. Obviously, he's on holiday now, but hopefully he can. He knows what he wants going forward to next season. We could hopefully quickly execute that. But if we are going to sack him, you need to do it as quickly as possible. So this waiting around to sack him is ridiculous, actually, when you think about it.
It's more than ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's more than.
But But it is also ridiculous if you are going to keep him, because, Ange should know by now if he's staying, and it doesn't really do wonders for the relationship between Ange and the hierarchy if you are going to keep him and you're having all this indecision and you're basically putting the message out there saying we don't know if we want to keep you. But it kind of makes more sense if you're going to keep him rather than sacking him to wait. I guess, I don't know. It either way, it's ridiculous. This waiting is ridiculous.
Yeah. I've always said, and I said this over the last couple of days, like, if you're talking to other managers, you cannot keep the current manager on. I think it's ridiculous, and it's disrespectful as well to the manager himself to speak to other managers while he's in a job. Mm-hmm. It's complete disrespect.
And of course it is, especially when he's just won you a trophy.
Another super chat here from MasterChef says, is there ever a world in which absolutely nothing is going on? What's BTS?
What's BTS? One sec. Is there
behind the scenes?
Oh,
they already decided to keep Ange, and they just don't say anything. Look, we just said that. We just spoke about that, and we know that there are a lot of people that know what's going on within the club, and leaks would have come out for sure by now. If Ange was definitely going to be here next season, we would know about it, 100%.
Yeah, and you could say same, but we have heard that he's going to be sacked, so that's the noise we've heard.
Yeah. Michael Hellman, big up to you, Michael, says Johan Lang out. # come on you Spurs. I mean, the job that Johan Lang doing is just so far from my worries right now.
Honestly.
That's how bad it is. Like, the worries of who we're going to sign and the recruitment team and everything like that is just so far from my mind right now.
Yeah, he can't even get a move on.
Essa El Shamari with another super chat says, a lot of people seem to forget that Brentford have a really good recruiting strategy. I'm not sure we have that.
Is Brian Daigle around? I'd like to talk to Brian. Is he around?
I'll ask him.
Let's see if he's around. I want to get Brian's take on it. Don't know if he's watching right now. Maybe he's busy. feel like a bit of Brian Daigle time.
In times like this, you need to hear from Brian.
You need to hear from
You
Brian.
need a bit of
We
Brian.
all want to hear from Brian, right, guys? We all want a bit of Brian.
Let us know in the comment section below. Who wants a bit of Daigle action right now? And there's a couple more super chats. Well, one more saying from Michael Hellman saying Anne should walk and be a legend. He'll be a legend regardless.
Yeah.
But I think like if he starts next season and it all goes wrong, does it taint it a little bit?
I guess. So it's tainted. And obviously doesn't help it, I guess. So I guess it would taint it a tad. But it doesn't taint it for me. He's still the manager who ended 17 years of her. Breaking news, Levy has lost his voice. Maybe that was it. He's just lost his voice since the final. Hasn't regained it yet. Like we all
many
did.
people. Let's get him on. We're getting Daigle in.
Let's see if maybe he's busy.
I bet you Daigle's just asleep now.
What time
This
is
is
it?
no time to sleep, Daigle.
What time is it in Canada?
Daigle, this is no time to sleep, mate.
I'm watching you.
Can you see yourself?
No, not at the moment. I must be a bit behind, but I can see you talking to me. I can see you showing my face.
Everyone's saying they want to hear from you, Brian.
We all want to hear from you, Daigle. We're going to send you a Zoom link. You coming on?
Yeah, of course I will, brother.
All right, we're going to send you a link.
All right.
Can you send me a link? All right. We called it. The man is coming on.
Do you guys have jobs? Says Ryan Butler. You're watching it, mate. You're watching our job. This is a job, mate.
It's time for a bit of Daigle action.
Stell made some disco dancing videos of you all.
Yeah, we saw them. Did you see it?
I don't think I've seen
Oh,
it.
you haven't seen it? It was brilliant. I don't think Stell made it, but he sent it to me though.
Let's see. See what Brian's got to say for himself.
Ryan Bagel. All right, here we go. We got the Zoom link.
Jonathan Edvin says, got exam tomorrow, but don't really care. We are Tottenham TV is live.
Come on, people. Forget your future.
I never do well in exams anyway, so you could always do this.
Forget your exams. Tottenham are in crisis here. This is much more important.
School, kids. Stay in school. Maybe while you're doing your exam, we'll get the news.
We need the news, man. Drop the news, Tottenham.
Drop it.
No, they need to sit and let the announcement of the new kits do the rounds. Can't be doing no club announcements while the new kits have just been released.
All right, Daigle should be joining us.
It's got people. 1,800 people here in the chat. Come on.
Everyone
The
is
We Are
wondering-
Tottenham army is bloody strong today.
Everyone's wondering what the crisis is going to unfold. Maybe we're all hoping there's some news going to drop while we're live. That's all. We can all live in hope. But nothing can distract from the kit launch, people. Nothing can distract. from the kit launch.
We're not leaving this live until we get the announcement, people.
Should we just do it? Should we just go live? Should we
We're
stay
just
live
staying
until we know
here
if Ange is
until
staying?
the announcement
Go on, hunger
comes.
strike.
Oh God.
Levy's holding us to ransom.
This Daniel Levy,
If
man.
we go on hunger strike, Levy knows he can just wait another week and he'll have no backlash again. From
I'm
anyone.
telling you, yeah. I'm telling you, if this news is true and Levy is going to leave, the parties down Tottenham High Road, man. The parties. Daigle is going to be on the first flight home and he's going to be in Stell's party hat.
He's not going to be in the plane. David's going to be on top of the plane while it flies over. He's going to be on top, strapped to the top.
But look, let's get on. He's
I think
here.
He's on mute still. 1 minute. I think I put it on the TV on mute. 1 second.
Who's on mute?
The TV app.
Can you hear
Oh,
me?
the TV's on mute. Wait a second, Daigle. Wait a second.
Yeah, you can hear him now.
Daigle?
Daniel? Actually, Ben. Ben, I don't like that name. Ben. Ben, Sim.
How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, buddy. I am doing good. I hope you brothers are well. I hope everyone in the chat as well. Whoever's working the back end today as well. It's another European Champion Day that I'm enjoying.
Brian,
the weather's getting better. The weather's better in Toronto.
You look like a champion, Daigle. You look like
Feel
a
like
champion.
a champion, mate. Feel like a champion.
We're just on the stream at the moment. We're just thinking. There's obviously all these rumors flying around about unrest and the hierarchy, all these things. We haven't heard anything about a manager, what's going on with the manager situations. We're watching clubs around us or who we're supposed to be competing with, signing players left, right, and centre and getting a move on for the new season. So, in your mind, what is going on at the moment? Is it Levy? Is it Munich up to their old tricks again? Is there something going on? Do you think? Well, what's your hypothesis?
So first of all, the fact that we're doing nothing is I don't know why people are surprised or shocked. Other teams making moves for players, we're standing still. Not a shock. It's just more chaos at this football club. What I will say is like when I was talking to Ben yesterday, we've heard these takeover rumours or interest or small investment so many times. Every single year it happens. But there's been no real meat on the bones.
Yeah.
Donna Cullen stepping down and leaving puts a lot of meat on the bones for me. Yeah. If there's anything to say, do you know what, this may have some legs to it, this may be happening, you'd need to see a change up the top, wouldn't you? You'd need to say, well, that's a bit different. Yeah. This is something out of the ordinary.
Collicott as well.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, if you're looking at the Tottenham boards, the chessboard, Donna Cullen was the queen piece, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
It was the biggest domino that could fall. I mean, you can use whatever kind of comparison you want. But Donna Cullen stepping down, and rightfully so, people have said this has been in the works or whatever. We've heard many things that have been in the works, but it's now she is gone. Whether people want to say she's retired, stepped down, pushed, shoved, mutual, whatever you want to do, she's gone. And like you said, Collicott, there's definitely something going on, isn't there? There's definitely legs to it this time, I think. Whether it comes through, it's something completely different. I am very disappointed with how long. I mean, I've taken a massive hiatus, as you both know, from watching any YouTube content whatsoever. The only YouTube content I'm watching is you. That's it.
That's the way it should be, Daigle. That's the way it should be.
Listen, people will always know that my heart will always be with We Are Tottenham TV. And this is my channel, my one and only channel. Let's say it like that. Not just because of the content, because of my love for you guys. And I can't believe what we're doing with Ange Postecoglou. As I said, I had never changed on a manager, and I turned on him in January, and I was very, very outspoken about it. But I can't get away from what he delivered, which so many others have failed to do, whether it be the win now managers, the Pochettinos, anyone. I was just speaking with Ben Kaufman, and you look at it, it's something I've craved, and I've come on this channel and all other channels going nuts about winning a trophy and how important a trophy is. And no matter what happens, that feeling, wherever anyone watching this in the world or anyone in the world was when we won that and the final whistle blew, you want to live that moment over and over again. And Ange Postecoglou delivered it. He did, and fair play to him. If he is here, absolutely fine, brilliant. Let's just make sure we seriously back him. If he goes, then Spurs got in a different direction. But I can't believe how this is being handled once again by this football club.
What do you think is causing this massive indecision? 10 days now since the final day of the season, nearly 2 weeks since the actual final. We haven't heard. We've heard a few rumours from journalists, but nothing announced. Nothing concrete. You know, do you think they've decided they're not releasing it? Is there a reason why they're not releasing it? If they haven't decided, is that evidence of a disagreement or some sort of disagreement in the boardroom? How long should it take to make a decision? You know, you get the board together, you talk it out and make a decision. It shouldn't be taking 10 days, should it?
Well, we did hear a lot from the club today. You know, a kit launch. You know, we we hear of monthly every month goes by. There's another act coming and playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We hear those. We hear from the club quite regularly, don't we, Brian?
We certainly do. And you know what? Going back to you, Sim, what the bit they're not. If they were to sack him, if they were, surely you do it before he goes on his holiday. It's like, thanks for your service, brilliant. Go on your holiday. You know, if Ange Postecoglou is to be sacked, it's not like when anyone loses their job in the real world, where it's like, oh my God, how am I going to provide for my family? What am I going to do for a living? How am I going to pay rent or my mortgage? You get a £7 million payoff, and you know what I mean? He's not going to be on the rock and roll, signing up at the job seekers allowed. He's covered for a bit.
He'll be all right. Yeah.
But I understand as well the euphoria of the moment. But surely, football is an industry like no other as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's constantly moving, no matter what. We've seen with transfers going on. We've seen that Chelsea go and get Delap within 24 hours of winning and playing. It's just this football club don't have a plan. They don't have a vision. They don't have a structure. When it comes to preparing for the next season, you hear all these managers going, we started after the Premier League, after the January window. I don't think we have a clue.
Brian, have you ever seen anything like this before in your life in football, where there's such kind of question marks over the manager's futures? A lot of journalists coming out saying he's already been sacked. Paul O'Keefe coming out and saying Daniel Levy has actually made his decision, but hasn't communicated it with everyone. And then on the other side of that, you've got players coming out in their droves saying how much they're backing the manager, how much they want him to stay. Pedro Porro urging the board to keep Ange Postecoglou pretty much today.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen anything like this before in your life?
No. I mean, we the one thing I will say that we've seen similar is obviously when we've heard that the bad eggs got rid of Poch, bad eggs got rid of. We've heard that happen, haven't we? But and I was one of them, and very outspoken about it, and wrong, and happy to say I was wrong for this. Is we heard all rumours that they didn't want Ange. The players were revolting against Ange, didn't want. But I don't think you can say the outpour of love for or support, as we say. And Joe, the one thing I will say, someone you both and I know very, very well, and people in the chat might know very well, Billy Carnes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking to Billy, and when I was speaking to Billy, I was like, so what do you think? You were there, tell me about it. He turned around to me and said, you know what, Brian, I'll tell you one thing. Those players are playing for Ange. And he said, no one will tell me any different. Whether people, he goes, what I saw on that pitch, right, it wasn't the greatest game. But he was like, I've been here where you can clearly see players weren't playing for the manager. And he was like, you cannot tell me, I was there, I've been here, there and everywhere all season, that they're not playing for him.
Yeah.
So I think, like Stella said, and we've had this discussion as well, I'm Stella and I are very much aligned with where we are right now when it comes to Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah.
Very much aligned. He has got something, he has done something that no other manager has done for 17 years, 41 if you want to talk Europe. And he deserves a lot. He will go down as a legend for me, period.
Yeah.
And I think the treatment of him by the club is shambolic.
Where do you think the truth lies, Brian, in terms of what's happening right now? Do you think they have made a decision and they're just not revealing it? Or do you think they are just completely undecided?
Do you know what? I don't know, because nothing would put me past, as you know, I don't put anything past Daniel Levy. He probably knows in his heart of heart and his head what he's doing. Have they related it to people? Wouldn't have a clue. Has what's going on at board level and all these rumours had an impact and different direction? I just don't know. But I would hope either way, at least Ange Postecoglou knows. Wherever he is right now, I hope at least Ange Postecoglou knows either it's thank you and goodbye, or you're the guy and this is how we're going to back you. Either way for him. But it's just, like you said, transfers are being done, plans are being implemented, and we don't have a clue what's going on.
an absolute shitstorm, shit show, any sort of word that you want to go. Literally, another day in bloody paradise.
And Brian, if you think about it, if we do sack Ange, it's probably going to set us back even more. Just not because necessarily it's the right decision to keep him, but more that Ange's obviously been here for 2 years. He knows his ideas of the problems within the squad and what he would want and how we'd want to change. And we could very quickly go ahead and try and execute what he would want. Whereas a new manager is going to have to look at the squad himself, decide himself who he wants to keep, who he thinks is good enough, who he doesn't think is good enough, who he thinks is the right characters for him, who he doesn't, and make all those decisions and then come up with a plan himself about what he would want and who draw up a list of what kind of players he would want. And that takes time. So, like, if the decision is we're going to sack him, then we're falling even further behind with plans for next season.
That completely agree with you, Simon. I mean, you look at it right now. What we know factually, as we speak right now, is one way or another we need to replace Ryan Mason. So another coach or assistant manager needs to come in. Is it Ange picking someone or bringing someone from Celtic, or going down the route of bringing a new guy in for new ideas? So that definitely needs to happen. I do think there are a lot of truth to the rumours that if he does go, there will be player unrest. I really do believe that. I think there are a lot. You've seen the outpouring of it, and when you see it from someone like Cuti Romero, who I had thought before the final was gone, Atletico Madrid, it just makes too much sense. It's going to happen. We've heard what he's been saying or rumoured to be saying. Then you got people like Porro coming out, and I love Pedro Porro. I think he gets this football club just like Jan Vertonghen did. He knows what it is to be, he just gets it. I think there could be player revolt, but then it's who comes in. And if they do, if, and this is all if Ange goes, obviously, we've seen apparently with Nagelsmann and Slot and other managers and Nuno, they haven't been allowed to bring their full coaching team in, have they?
No.
It's right. Will this manager, if he wants, if there was to be one, be able to bring in their new or their entire backroom stuff? Every road you go down, there seems to be a million questions, isn't it?
Yeah, and radio silence.
Yeah, it's deafening. It's absolutely deafening. But one way or another, a decision has to come. A decision has to come because it just leaves everyone in limbo. I'm sure the club will know, obviously the people in the know will know what's going on. But when you're planning to get players in, when you've got this advantage of being in the Champions League now and we have this to offer them, you would think you'd want to move fast to get these players in, wouldn't you?
You would think so. You would think so, but that's not the way things are done at Tottenham Hotspur. And like you said, the silence is completely deafening. If there's one thing this club know how to do well, and that is the bloody killer vibe, because everyone was bloody high on life after Bilbao, the parade, everything like that, you know. Even if there was some fans, you know, around social media with the whole Ange in, Ange out debate, me and you have spoken about that, Brian, about how frustrating it has been. But like even fans like me and you now and Sim and who were, you know, top of the world 10 days ago.
Yep.
I'm just getting more and more frustrated and more angry as the days progress now.
Well, you look at it, and again, this is where, so anyone in the chat that doesn't like me going on about Levy, you might not like the next segments and bits coming up. You look at it.
You get him, Brian. You get him.
Oh, mate, it's my time to shine. My specialist subject in Mastermind. You look at it. We won the Europa League. Regardless, that parade was magnificent. Yeah. Magnificent. And all the anger that you see in chat, social media, everything was all let's party and enjoy this moment. And there's close to 250,000 people there. Levy would have seen that and thought, "Wow, look at this." Or you'd think he'd say, "Wow, look at this. This is what the glory and success will bring." You saw, I think, the most beautiful thing I saw all season in that Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was before kickoff at Brighton with all those flags. That was the most incredible spectacle, and what that stadium should have all been about. And you'd say, do you know what? Let's look at this, what it's generating. Look at the buzz around the place. And then obviously you see his face when the Europa League, even when they're doing the lap of appreciation, and they've got the Europa, it goes to him. He ain't got a care in the world. He's just got an arse like he's got a face like a slapped arse, and he uses in his program notes. This is the springboard to kick on. This is what we needed. It's like, well, no, if you'd invested, we could kick on. We've now got this opportunity to kick on, and we're sitting here twiddling our thumbs again. It happens every. Ben, you know, I had that January transfer window dilly ding dilly dong battle with you when Sim was away. I love watching the 50 Shades of Simeon in the window, where he starts off all positive and delighted because we're linked to everyone, and then by the end of the window he is absolutely fuming. And we're here again, aren't we? I mean, obviously it's very, very early days.
Window only opened 2 days ago.
Yeah, but you look at it and you think Manchester United had won the cup rather than us. And you look at it, when you say this is a team that are in dire straits, they're going to stand by their manager. He said he's staying, and it looks like Cunha's done, and Buemo could be through the door momentarily.
I think that's
and
done,
there's talk that Gyökeres could choose to be reunited with Amorim. And if that happens, Man U are a different animal. Yes, they got to address it, but that's like, right, we're going to back you, and here we go.
That front three of Gyökeres, Cunha, and Mbeumo is probably one of the best front threes in the whole Premier League.
Yeah, and that's a week after finishing 16th, losing the Europa League final, and going, right, this is unacceptable. We're Manchester United. Let's right the wrongs. Well, we're in a position now to say, right, we're in Champions League football. We needed this apparently to pay the wages and pay the fees. And all the other excuses about FFP, PSR, we need the stadium, we need the events, because everything goes back to the first team. And here we are, twiddling our thumbs.
Don't worry, Brian. We'll end up with Matisse Tell and Tyler Dibbling, and in 2030 we'll be a brilliant team.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Ben, we had this discussion. I think, Sim, we were in on it as well. Matisse Tell for 30 million. Again, for me, if we hadn't won the Europa League, that signing makes sense. And it's all right, 30 million, go spend it. We're not going to be able to attract the big players because of obviously no European football, whatever. I'd rather use that 30 million to go towards the budget of a bigger player, better player, more established player, and their wages, rather than, here you go, there's 30 million on Tell. But if we hadn't qualified, then I totally would have understood it. But we're going on that we need experience. And people want us to spend 30 million on Tell, but not get Sane. It's like, well, wait, you want experience? Whether Sane is the right guy, but that's the kind of level of experience, winning mentality, done it on the big stage, done it international level, that we need to bring in. Not another... what I've been saying recently, Ben, so I don't know if you agree with me or the listeners, we keep building the team for tomorrow while the teams around us keeps building the team for today. And we keep getting told in 2 years we'll be better and we'll be unstoppable. But whilst we keep building for 2 years, all these other teams are strengthening for right now.
Yeah.
And that's the way I feel about it at the moment. We keep building with the youngsters, and some will be great. We keep building for tomorrow whilst others are building for today.
Yeah, and Brian, you mentioned before, right, about not in Europe, and maybe if we didn't win that Europa League final, Tell for 30 million would have been the step to go. I mean, Manchester United are in the exact same position of that.
Yeah,
and they
you're right.
put the money down for Cunha, they put the money down for Mbeumo. So, like, this whole talk of European football is complete void with that.
Yeah, well, do you know what? You're right to an extent, Ben. You're right to an extent, but the other thing, you look at it, Buemo is apparently going to be on over 200 grand a week, and he was on 50 at Brentford.
Yeah.
They will pay who would have thought that if you pay the wages...
I thought Man U were broke. What happened to that?
Exactly. But you know what, Man U, as much as... Listen, their player recruitment hasn't been as great as it always was, but they do always invest in the manager. Whatever you feel about the Glazers, and don't get me wrong, I understand where every single Manchester United fan is coming from. And I understand why people say Levy and Enoch are better. Look what they've done for the infrastructure, blah. That argument is totally fair. But Manchester United will invest in their manager. They will pay the wages. Obviously, they've got a massive worldwide fan reach, and they'll make it up in kit sales and whatever. But they will pay the wages to supplement no European football and say, listen, don't go there where you might have European football. Come here, we're trying to build. And but you're completely right. Manchester United will go out and do it, Europe or not. Chelsea have done it as well, haven't they? But they, again, guess what? Pay the fee, pay the wages.
Yeah. And that's something that we don't do, and it beggars belief if we're ever going to do it.
Exactly.
What was the point of moving into this stadium if we're just getting cheaper and cheaper as the years progress?
Exactly. I mean, you look at it as well. The players that have left, and I don't just mean the Alfie Whiteman, Werner's gone, that's 165 saves a week. I can't remember what regular one was, but I'm sure we're now over 200 grand a week between the two of them saved. Players that could be leaving, the wage bill will go down again now. And with Champions League football, surely, I mean, when you look at it, someone said to me, I think Mbeumo is going to be on 270 a week or around that. How has Mbeumo left Brentford and is now going to be on 70 grand more than Son?
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
It's like, what? How does that make sense? Obviously, again, Man U will pay the wages, but it's just insane.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look. Regulon was on 53k a week.
Okay, so what? That's still just over 200 grand a week. So what's that? 800 grand a month.
Wait a sec. Fraser Forster, 75 grand a week.
Jesus.
Ben Davis, if he leaves, 80 grand a week. Timo, like you mentioned, if Romero ends up going, that's another 165 grand a week.
Yep. If Richarlison?
Richarlison, 90 grand a week.
So that's the thing. I mean, we shaved so much, and I get it that Kane and all the big hitters left.
Talks of,
but surely now's the time.
Maybe leaving.
Sonny. What?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Well, let's talk about this. Breaking news. Go on.
Breaking news. Sam Wallace has just reported from the Telegraph that Son Heung-min could be set to leave Tottenham this summer as an exclusive, as the teams from the Saudi Pro League are looking to sign him essentially, and Tottenham look to reshape their squad ahead of the Champions League season. They see it as an opportunity to generate funds ahead of the new season and reshape their squad, and he is a target for a lot of the teams in the Saudi Pro League, and Tottenham could look to cash in on him.
The thing is, I believe the first bit of it saying that Spurs might look to cash in on Son this summer. I can believe that. However, I do think that potentially Son being at this football club for an extra year might be worth more than a transfer fee that we're going to get in with the revenue that he comes. But I don't know. I just can't see Son going to Saudi.
Yeah, I don't think he'd want to go to Saudi. That's also another thing. He's still still 32, and he's still, whatever you want to say about how good of a season he had, he was still our top. He had goal contributions in the whole squad as well. So I think when he's fit and sharp, he's still our best attacker at the team, in the squad. And how much you realistically even going to get for him? I guess if it's Saudi coming in for him, you might get a pretty good amount. It's more about how much Son would get maybe than the transfer fee. But yeah, I mean, on one point, obviously, you could argue 32-year-old winger, not currently on the decline, has a chance to get 1 year left on his contract, a chance to get money. But as well, on the flip side, he's still our best attacker. He's still got so much to offer. He still brings up so much. So he still brings so much for the club. We're also going to Korea this summer as well. So I don't know if that's a good thing to sell him for that trip if that's on the cards. And I don't know if he will be going to Saudi. He'll want to go to Saudi. So whether that deal is even realistic is another thing. He probably could feel in a year or two's time he can still make it. He can still go to a team like in Saudi or a different team. So there's no need to rush it. Maybe he might feel so. I don't know.
Hasn't he made it clear though that that's not a step that he wants to take in his career?
Yeah, he has. That's what I was about to say. He is. Last time there's rumours, he was like categorically, I'm not going to the Saudi league. And also the bit that concerns me about that is when it's Spurs want to reshape. When have we ever reshaped? You've got to, if we lose Sonny, you've got to bring in genuine quality.
But that's our highest earner, isn't it? Out of the
it's our highest earner. But you look at it. If you're replacing Sonny with Matthias Tell, you lose so much. Again, it's potential that could be there.
But on the flip
I
side,
just don't-
on the flip side, he did say, Sonny, you know, he stayed here for 10 years because he wanted to get that trophy.
Yep.
And that was the reason he wanted to break that. He wanted to be part of the team who did it. Like, that was a big reason why he stayed. And now he has done it. Could there be a sense of his job is done here?
Yeah, there is a sense of that, but he's got to go where he's going to want to go. Like, and if he doesn't want to go to Saudi and the offers don't come in from elsewhere, then he's not going to go.
He's still our
Yeah, and
captain
I think we can agree that Son definitely comes across as a guy that isn't all about the money.
100%.
He won't be like, right, they're going to give me.
Trust me, he gets plenty of it in Korea. He gets plenty. Of it.
That's what I'm saying. He's not going to need to go to.
Sponsored by everything.
Literally, when we were in Korea, every billboard, every kind of different shop or different brand that we saw all had Sonny all over it.
Yeah, he's not short for cash.
Exactly. And but do you know what? If Sonny himself decides, I want to leave this summer, should Sonny say that, then I hope Spurs respect it and allow him to go.
But it sounds
if it's
more
Spurs
like
trying to sell him to get,
it sounds more like Tottenham want to sell him more than.
That's what if Sonny has had words and said, "Do you know what? This is the perfect way to say goodbye. I delivered a trophy. Now I want to go to pastures new." I just hope Spurs respect that, like you see with Man City when they got rid of Mahrez or whatever, and they let him go for cheap. Obviously, Man City are in a different stratosphere to us financially, but it's like, thank you for your service. You helped us win the treble, the this, the that. Off you go to your new pastures. We won't stand in your way. I would hope if and when Sonny gets to that time, Tottenham do the same.
I'll tell you what, though, what's definitely not happening is Tottenham are not going to Korea without Son on pre-season.
What could you imagine?
That is 100 million% for sure.
Well, the thing is, he's there as well, isn't he? Like they did last time. He's already there. And he welcomes the team at the airport.
Yeah.
So he's already there. Yeah, I can't see it. What's the dates that we're in Korea? July.
We are there. They haven't announced the dates yet. But I think it will. I think it will be the back end of July. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just can't see it, can you? Although not Kim Min Jae. Who was the? I'm so sorry, I forgot.
Yang Min-hyuk.
Yang Min-hyuk. Yeah. He'll be there. Obviously, he's not a massive fish compared to Sonny, but obviously there is that Korean connection and counterpart. But yeah, who knows with Sonny? But like we said, right now it is just. Social media and the rumour mill is, as always, in overdrive when it comes to Tottenham Hotspur. And what with all the news about the board and Cullen and Ange, it's relentless, isn't it?
Is there a case if there is all this restructuring, like there's like a lot of talk about big reset change this summer, the big restructuring at board level, maybe Ange is leaving, and maybe they'll feel like, is it time to move on the captain who's been here for 10 years? Maybe
there could be a case for that, but I just can't see us going to Korea without him, and that's pre-season. Yeah. And also, if Son was to leave, there is no chance he can go out the back door like Harry Kane. He needs to get a proper send-off from this football club in front of the fans at the stadium. That's the only way to let Son leave this club. He needs to go out with that kind of proper goodbye to the fans.
And another thing that would need to happen, Ben Sim, is if Sonny was to go or when he goes, we need his ready-made replacement ready to walk through the door before he goes or literally instantly after.
It's Matthias Tell. That's his replacement.
You say that, but he would be our highest earner, and surely that would be replaced by someone.
Maybe an Eze.
Maybe it'll be an Eze.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please.
So you're looking at it, right? If, let's say, argument's sake, Son was to leave this summer, and Romero to leave this summer, that's 3 out of the 4 of our highest earners off the books this summer.
That's also, if that was to happen, Ben, that's 2 of the 4 leaders.
2 of the 4 leaders as well.
4 leaders, yeah.
And you need to replace them. And I will say one thing: if we are
there, Richie's in as one of our highest earners.
Richie's in the top 7.
He's in the top 7.
It's going to be one of these mad summers. But I tell you what,
if you don't replace these players properly,
we can
you have got next to a relegation squad there. I'm not joking.
But I will say as well, if we need to bring someone else into the leadership team, the next person I'd love to see him as captain one day is Pedro Porro.
Porro.
Yeah,
What about
I doesn't. I just there's something there with Porro. His emotions, his desire, the way he speaks. He's just done an interview as well where he just comes across so well. He gets Tottenham. I think Pedro Porro is a born leader. Maybe not captain right now, but I think he's a born leader.
I have to say, in terms of Sonny, obviously, I really wanted to stay, and I think he's still got more to offer. But the thought of him leaving now he's won that trophy is not nearly as heart-aching 100%. As the thought now of him would have left leaving without a trophy, 100%. Which it was beforehand, and there was obviously talks of it.
Yeah.
So if he does leave, it's like, as much as it'll break my heart, he's won that trophy, and we can all like leave satisfied rather than before, where it's like how Kane left, where it's like he'd left without that trophy, and it's still that he never got what he should have got at this football club. Whereas Sonny, he's got that, even though probably should have more trophies, he's got that trophy over the line, and he can now leave like having fulfilled what he should have at this football club.
But Sonny now if he was to leave, he leaves in the same stature as players like Graham Roberts, as players like, big 100%. Captains for us that have won a major trophy. He's up there with the Steve Perrymans and the Danny Blanchflowers of this football club. He is etched in the history books of this football club as a winning captain.
Do you know what? Every single one on that team is, no matter what you think about them, Brennan Johnson, Dan, so you get Archie Gray, all of them, they have done the job. They will go down in the history books. You'll be telling your kids and your grandkids, Ben, so will other people, that this is the team that did it. What I will say with Sonny is I want him to win more trophies at Spurs because I need to see more drunk, sweary Sonny. That was of all the versions of Sonny, that is my most favourite.
I fucking love you. We fucking won the Europa League.
If we had done like bets on who's going to swear first and who's going to be... Son, I don't think anyone would have said Heung-min Son because of how polite and wonderful and courteous he is. But when he did that, I was just like, okay. I loved it. Seeing the joy on his face, and he's always smiling. He's just infectious, isn't he? Yeah. He's just infectious. I think losing him, if we were to, not just on the pitch, off the pitch, it's a massive, massive blow for Spurs.
So, if we lost Romero and Son, do you think Maddison would be captain?
Probably. He's the well, it depends who the manager is. If Ange's manager, then yeah.
Or Vicario, it could be Vicario, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it'll be Maddison, to be honest. If Frank comes in, he'll probably have different ideas, and maybe a different man will be the manager.
We'll bring in Christian Norgard to make him captain.
But look, that kind of news about I firmly believe Sonny will still be here next season, though. Yeah, I do believe that.
I do believe that as well. He's going to want to win the Super Cup, and then we can have some more fun with Arsenal fans, which is what it's all about. That's what I'm doing this summer, just lapping up their tears and enjoying the glory of winning a trophy. What will be, but like I said, I don't think Sonny goes. I don't, and especially if Romero was to go, I can't see us letting two of the leadership team go, whoever they may be. Yeah, I just cannot see it happening.
Yeah, I agree.
Just a bit more breaking news. Moving on from Son, we just got the "Here we go" from Romano for Inzaghi to Al Hilal.
Another one bites the dust.
So Inzaghi is going to Al Hilal.
Another one bites the dust.
Why am I doing the pigeon?
What would be hilarious if Inter now appoint Thomas Frank?
What a merry-go-round.
You know what? What a merry-go-round. Apparently they're trying to get Fabregas there.
Fabregas, yeah. Good appointment.
What, Inter?
Yeah.
Well, Inzaghi, I mean, that just shows he went to Newcastle. Apparently Newcastle and us were having talks, and the Pulla Paratici and everything, and he's gone to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a shame when manager... Well, we know why he's gone there.
Yes, we do.
But that's another top draw. This is a thing as well. I will have, and I don't, like I said, people will know, I am a huge, huge fan of Thomas Frank.
Yeah.
Massive fan of his. I wanted him before Ange Postecoglou. Like I said, if Ange Postecoglou stays, I'm fine with it. What
is it about Frank, though, Brian, that makes you such a big fan of him? Because we've only ever seen him at Brentford, and obviously doing the job at Brentford is very different to doing the job at Tottenham.
So I've kept. I think Brentford are a remarkably run football club.
Yeah.
Not just on the pitch, but off the pitch, community-wise. And I always used to love it when teams like Blackpool came into, and those teams that came in, Huddersfield, and all these teams that you don't. So I had a look into Brentford and their development and whatever. I just think Thomas Frank. I remember the main game where I really paid attention to what he done. Do you remember that last game that Harry Kane had for us in the league when he scored what people say the free kick? But and then they absolutely took us to town in the second half.
Yeah.
I just admired that he adapts, he changes. Then I started looking into him a bit more, like from then. So before Ange Postecoglou came in, he was the guy for me. The way he conducts himself in the media is fantastic. Like I said, his adaptability, his tactics. Then you look at him, and when we look at it, he loses players regularly, and he just either they bring in players to replace, or he develops players like Wissa and Buemo. He loses Ray out, Tony. With Ivan Toney, everyone thought, oh my God, they're a shoo-in to go down. I was watching a video yesterday on his review of the season. His front three scored over 50 goals this season.
Yeah.
Combined.
Yeah.
I mean, that's night and day compared to ours. His net spend during his time in Brentford is £71 million for the whole Premier League tenure. Then you put it into practice or to theory that's £6 million more than we spent on just Dominic Solanke.
Yeah.
In 1 week. I think there's a lot of people willing to downplay because he's at Brentford, he hasn't won anything. Eddie Howe hadn't won anything and got relegated. Pochettino came from Southampton. If we had won, I do agree that I don't think it's right if we get rid of Ange for Frank, because obviously Ange Postecoglou has won something and has done in his past. And like I said, I'm happy. If we had lost the final and Thomas and Ange had been sacked, I think a lot more people would be okay with Thomas Frank coming in. A lot of people have also said that Ange did the double over him last season.
Never lost to him.
Finished. We also finished 9 or 10 places below him and 18 points ahead.
Yeah.
And I'd rather finish 18 points ahead of someone than have a team do the double over me. Like I said, if Ange is here, I am absolutely fine with it and will back it and support it. But I think there's a lot of negativity towards Frank because he's just at Brentford. These managers need an opportunity. I think he can do a wonderful job for Tottenham. I really do. So if he comes in, would it be a sideways step because of what Ange has achieved in his pedigree? Possibly, maybe. If it had been an Inzaghi, which we know it's not, or a Xavi or whatever, then you're talking, do you know what? They've got the pedigree, they've done it, but I get it. Frank is kind of, I would see it as a sideways step, but I admire Frank. I've got a lot of time and love for him. If it was to be him, if Ange was to go, I'd be more than happy. If Ange is still the manager, absolutely fine.
Brian, would you say? My opinion on it is, I agree with you. I think Frank is great, but do you not think Frank is maybe the perfect appointment had we lost the final? You know, now now we won the final. You need someone a bit more. Even if Andrew's to go, don't you need someone a bit more pedigree who's got experience at Champions League level?
Who is that though?
Yeah, I don't know, but.
Sim, you know what it
want
is?
Someone who's kind of having his first European campaign back in the Champions League.
That guy's not out there.
But Sim, you could say that with Pochettino. Pochettino's first European campaign. Oh no, it was Europa. Then obviously the Champions League. But you look at it as well, and this is where it goes back to this club not making decisions. Is it going to be Paratici spending the money? Is it not? Is it going to be we are going to change our wage structure? Is it not? Is it going to be no, Ange, you're in the hot seat, but Paratici? There are so many unanswered questions. Forget just talking about the manager. If it is the manager, is he reporting to or having discussions with Lange? Is he talking to Paratici? Is there someone else? What is Vinay's impact? There are so many unanswered questions that need answering. It's like, do you remember? I'm a little bit older than both of you guys, and people in the chat might know this. Do you remember those books, those role-playing books, where it says if you want to fight the lizard or turn to page 83 or roll the dice and see. It's like one of those fantasy books. It's like, are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? And then when we get there, are we going to do this and that or this and that? It's just so much uncertainty. But if it's Ange, let's just hope he gets the backing, serious backing, and can show what he needs to do. And if it's not Ange, thank you very much for what you did. You will go down as a legend to me. I apologise for the anger and how vocal I was in anger of what was going on in the season. You will be a legend to me. We move on and crack on. But if it is Ange, he's going to get my total full backing.
But like everyone, there's a clamour for everyone to get, you know, this experienced manager that's had Champions League experience and all that kind of stuff. But the only ones I can think of that are actually out of a job right now are Xavi and Zidane.
Yeah.
Apart from them, is there anyone else on the market right now?
Yeah.
No. And you look at it as well. Sorry, Sim. Just I was going to look at you. You look at it and say, right, do you want a big manager that's done it European, like those two you mentioned? But then you have people who are like, well, we need people with Premier League experience. You're not going to get a manager nowadays, like we got a Conte or whatever, that ticks all the boxes. That will come to Tottenham because of how we're run, because of you can see what happened with managers at this football club and directors of footballer clubs. But I just don't think you're going to find a European super manager that will come, or a manager that's got both European and Premier League experience. It's a hard job to fill, isn't it, Sim?
Yeah, I'm just looking at who's available.
There's Edin Terzic, who got to the final of the Champions League with Borussia Dortmund.
What's his name? Sergio Conceição, who did a good job at Porto, but he just got sacked by
He's
AC
just
Milan.
done a terrible job at AC Milan.
Yeah, he just got sacked.
Again, they're big names without Europe Premier League experience. And you got people that say, yeah, we need Premier League experience. We need this, we need that.
Yeah.
We need them to speak English. We obviously to converse and talk and whatever. You're not going to be able to find these managers. It's like, I think you either find someone with Premier League experience or you go for a European elite. And I can't.
What about a manager who's got experience on the world stage?
Go on.
No, I don't even want to say it. Gareth Southgate.
Yeah. Put it this way: if there is a Southgate in N17, there'll be a Daigle in London.
The last club job he got was getting relegated with Middlesbrough. So,
yeah.
No, thank you.
I just could. It would be. This is the thing. We need to go. We need to get our ducks in a row, and just whatever route we're going down, make sure that this European Champions League money and pedigree or whatever that we've got now. We got told that we needed this football to attract the players and pay the wages. Well, we've got it. Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah. Well, Brian, always a pleasure, my friend.
Always a
Nice
pleasure,
to meet you,
brothers.
Brian.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate
Have a
you calling
great
in,
day.
mate.
Always a pleasure. Have a great day, everyone in the chat, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. Ben and Sim, much love to you all. And we will speak soon.
The great Brian Daigle, everyone.
See you later.
Another couple of super chats. First from Isaac Kim, saying, as I recall, Ange also influenced change in the academy when he came in, and look at the output of that. What a mess will be if he's sacked. Wasn't it Fabio that restructured the academy?
Yes, I think so. I don't think it was Ange himself. I don't think he. I doubt. Obviously, he gave quite a few players their opportunities, but I don't think it's a manager necessarily who's about restructuring the academy. It's about
I'm sure it was Fabio came in and did it.
The manager will decide who he thinks from the academy gets opportunities in the first team. But I don't think he's got anything to do with how they're developing or anything like that.
Christopher Scorpion Nyland says, Son out then, get Eze in for him. Vuskovic could replace Romero.
I mean, getting Eze would probably be one of the only ways to stomach losing Son and getting someone Eze.
But even that, like, still, you know, Eze is not an out-and-out winger. Eze is someone that can cover the 10 or even potentially be our best 10. and can do a job on the wing.
Yeah, I think when I know Glasner plays his kind of left attacking midfield is a bit narrower than a winger, but
He's not a touchline winger.
he's
is
not
he?
a touchline winger. No, but again, I mean, if it's not Ange, then
Yeah.
it won't have to be. I guess it depends.
Yeah, I'm sure like Frank can do a lot of work with Eberechi Eze. And Christopher Affection, Charlie says 5 of our attackers have over 20 goals and assists.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true. Goal contribute in all competitions.
but Brentford's have 50.
Huh?
Brentford's have 50.
He's not saying total, he's saying each.
Oh, each.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true actually. But we also played a lot more games, didn't we?
Yeah, it's all competitions. It's not just Premier League. Yeah.
So big up to everyone, man. 1,900 people in here with us. Do smash that subscribe button. If you are new around here, we do bring you daily Tottenham Hotspur content. And make sure to smash that subscribe button. 372 likes with 1,900 people in here with you is a bit of a disappointment.
Come on, get those likes up, people.
Smash that like button. But I think that's it. Is there anything else?
Right now, we're just, we're waiting and hearing any information, any news will break, but that's all we got. I think we've got to say for now. Bit of breaking news on the stream about Sonny, but not much else for now. Again, not hearing anything about the manager. We're not going to allow the kit launch to be distracted from. So enjoy taking your vows today, and hopefully we'll hear some more news soon.
Yeah, let's hope so. But big up to all of you that have tuned in today and interacted. Let's see who's finished off top of the community leaderboard. Who has it been?
The Coin 93 something.
The Coin 93, eh?
The Coin 93.
Well, big up to you. How much XP has he got?
150. Although there's 6 of them on 157 on 150.
So 7 joint at the top. Go on, reel him out.
I mean, it doesn't have their full names, which is a bit annoying, but it says the Coin 93, Paul the TR1 something, Happy Clapper, I'm guessing it says, Greeny 1308, Akash Grewal Q22Y, Tottenham EZ, Wetham 96, and Dibby Dish.
Dibby Dish. Big up to all of you, and I thank you all for tuning in today. We'll see you all. Hope maybe later tonight or tomorrow, albeit I do have the day off tomorrow, my wife's birthday, so I've got to be.
Maybe that's the day we'll get it.
It's going to be tomorrow, isn't it? It's going to be the old Ali Gold.
As she's blowing out the cake, you're going to get the news.
So everyone, wish Ashley a happy birthday for tomorrow. Sim will see you tomorrow, I'm sure. He will have a partner with him. But like, subscribe, and comment, and as always, come on, you Spurs.